Yo, what's going on? It is 1 p.m. here in Crystal Lake, Illinois. We're back at home. It's time for another live stream. Today is Monday, April 1st, 2024, April Fool's Day. For those of you who observe that particular holiday. But I don't really, I think I'm kind of over it now. I don't know. I used to be really excited about April Fool's Day. No, I feel like it's kind of run its course. But if you're still into it, totally cool. Let me know if there's anything fun that you've seen for April Fool's Day that you thought has been exciting. We got a fun show today. Got a package from Salomon. I did open it a little bit. I did take a peek inside. So I know what's in here. But I had to do that because I didn't know who sent me this package. So I had to kind of figure that out first and make sure it wasn't embargo. It's not. I don't think it is. I think I can show this. I'm pretty sure I can show this to you. So I'm going to show it to you. And we'll get to that. But first, let's say hi to everyone listening on the audio-only version on the podcast. I hope you're having a good run today. I had beautiful weather. It was a little bit chilly and a little bit windy, but otherwise, really good run. I did my first run in the Valkyrie Speedworks, the Tier Valkyrie Speedworks. Pretty fun shoe. I'm liking that one a lot. And so hopefully you're out there right now enjoying your run a lot, like I did. I saw something weird on the run today too, by the way. There's a normal spot. There's a farm that has some chickens and they sell the eggs and stuff, but they let the chickens kind of like wander around. They get outside their fence all the time. I don't know if they intentionally let them outside their fence or if they just poked a hole through it and they don't care or whatever, but I see the chickens all the time. Lately, I've been seeing some ducks too. And today there was a group of like 4 ducks and there was like a giant puddle because it's been raining here. And one of the ducks was sitting on top of the other duck and like poking at its head from up top. I swear it was trying to drown the other duck. And I thought it was so weird that I stopped my run. I turned around and started like yelling at the ducks until they like stopped what they were doing. And then they all kind of walked away together. So it didn't look like a fight, but it definitely looked like one duck was trying to, but the other duck didn't look like he was struggling. Maybe he was tired, he got fatigued out, but it didn't look like he was annoyed by it. So I don't know. I didn't know what was going on. Weird stuff on the run today. I also had a horse like run really hard right alongside me today. That doesn't normally do that. Normally the horses, there's a lot of horse farms around here. Normally the horses just kind of like, if anything, they might look up to see what's going on, but that's it. They don't really care. But this horse was running. So it's just a weird day. It's April, I guess. So that's what's going on. Everyone that's listening later but not live, welcome to the number one place to remind you that it's tax time. You better get those taxes done. You know, it's not going to do themselves. Mine are usually a little bit complicated. They're not complicated. They're just tedious. I'm still doing mine. It takes forever. I don't know why. I really hate it, but hopefully you're almost done with yours. All right. D Jonesy 30 says, ducks are super aggressive when mating, LOL. It occurred to me that I might have interrupted something. And I was like, is that just how I was like, I'm not sure what's going on there. But there was like other ducks sitting around too. Like there wasn't privacy or anything. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Anyway. April Fletcher says, I finally got a day off and can be here. I got a 32-minute PR at the Philadelphia Half Marathon last Sunday in the singlet, the Cozy Run Club singlet, and a new 5K PR on Saturday. That's a lot of racing. Amazing. Great job, April. Nice. Nice work. TJ Bride says, I've been done with my taxes for over a month or so now. That's nice. That's nice. I feel like if I were ever able to say that, both my wife and my accountant would be very happy. They'd be proud of me, you know, but not this year. Not this year. Matt Byer says, for April 1st, a Trail Running had an Instagram video where they added tech into their new shoes that can be connected to an app. So your foot strikes are drum beats. Instantly knew this was an April Fool's joke. Yeah, I thought that one was pretty fun. At first I was like, I'm not sure where this is going because I thought it was just going to be some sort of electroshock running kind of thing. But yeah, I saw that one too. That was a good one. Mustache Runner says, sup everyone? Just saying hi real quick before I go pick up my next group of students. Almost time for London. Yeah, London is coming up. I'll start tapering next week. Although, like the schedule I've noticed, normally I have a workout, 2 easy days, and then a workout. That's every 9 days. Since my last long run, there's been 3 days between workouts, which is nice. And I'm feeling great, so I feel like it's working. So hopefully that means like things will be peaking nicely for the marathon, All right. Shaheen Farania says, I know I might be late for the PR announcements, but I had a PR over half an hour of 3:44 at my second marathon and first major at Tokyo 2024. Great job, Shaheen. That's nice. Nice work. Ben Kennedy says, QR released an e-triathlon bike today. I wish it was true. That's funny. I like that. E-triathlon bike. Eliza says, I was tricked about the Salomon vest for Courtney. I got excited about the built-in floss and toothbrush. Yeah, I saw that and I'm like, I couldn't tell if the whole thing was fake or if it was just the toothbrush. I was like, that looks like a very awkward way of carrying stuff, all front-loaded. I'm like, but maybe she likes that. I don't know. So I was like, is it a real vest and the toothbrush is fake? I couldn't tell. But I thought that it was going to be short knees. But then I guess she would have had to wear short knees. And maybe if she's not into that, then that wouldn't be a very fun joke. But, or it would be hard to kind of film that and make that work. But I like the toothbrush. I kind of want the toothbrush. That's the thing. I don't know. Stephen Link says, just non-elite cap out for delivery. Just in time for the DC double blossom this weekend. What's a double blossom? You have to tell me about that. All right. Matthias Fentes says, are the Tier daily trainers any good? Look like they have a handle on the super shoes. Well, Tier has daily trainers. They've had daily trainers for years. I wouldn't run in them. But the Valkyrie Speedworks, as far as I understand, it's kind of a daily trainer, but it's kind of like an Endorphin Speed clone. And I'll say I've been running in the Endorphin Speed 4, and I ran in the Tier Valkyrie Speedworks today, and they are similar but very different at the same time. So and they're also the same price. So it's not like they're saving money by going with the Tier version over like the Saucony version. But there's a lot of parallels between the two shoes. And I think that the Tier version is much more neutral. It's much more flexible. It doesn't feel as bulky in the forefoot, which is both good and bad, depending on how you want to use it. I think it works better as a daily trainer than the Endorphin Speed does, but I feel like it won't handle workouts quite as well as the Endorphin Speed will. On the other hand, from a brand perspective, I think that there is a better amount of distance or gap between the Tier Valkyrie Speedworks and the Tier Valkyrie Elite Carbon that make those two shoes make sense together. But with Saucony, the Endorphin Speed 4 and the Endorphin Pro 4 are pretty close together. It's kind of hard to actually recommend both of them at the same time. You know what I mean? Yeah. Let's see. Zuhir Khan, Speed Cuber says, Broski, you need to edit the title of the new vid. What's new vid? Let me go check on that really quick. Did I do something wrong? Hold on, let me take a look. Sometimes I forget to edit the titles. Let's see. Videos. Oh, yeah, there's a spelling typo in there. That's okay. I'll fix it later. Let's see. Robert Henson says, "Hey, Mike, I released later this year. I have booked 2 half marathons a week apart. Oops. For Sicily, and the second is supposed to be a PB attempt. How would you handle the week between?" I think that what's more important is how do you handle the first race. But the week between, I would just easy running. Maybe do some strides at some point Thursday. Maybe a super light workout, maybe like 1 rep of a workout or 2 to 3 short reps of a faster workout just to keep the legs moving fast. That's about it. There's not a lot you would want to do. It's just a week. Japoy Papa says, "What marathon event or events are you going to do this year?" Marathons that I'm going to run are London and Berlin. I think that's it. I don't think I'm going to do CIM this year. I mean, I'll be at a lot of other events, but you asked what I'm going to race. So I don't think I'm going to race CIM. I don't know if I'll even attend CIM. I don't know that if I'm going to race Valencia or Dallas. Those are some other ones I was thinking about. But those are the only 2 races that I'm going to, those are the 2 marathons that I'm going to race. I think that's the question. So that's the answer. Edgar, the hobby jogger, says, "Next year, Cole, you need to join a speed project team." So I met Troy and Nick Bear out there. Lots of epic content opportunities. Yeah, I'm not super into that. I was just talking about it on the Relay podcast that'll come out tomorrow, I think. I mean, Nick Bear did his by himself, and Matt Troy was did it as a relay, which I think is the original way you do it. But I'm not as interested in a relay. I'm more interested in an event where, kind of like, what's that really long race at UTMB? The one that takes like 6 or 7 days, and you have to get 3 people across the line, and people have to wear like rock climbing helmets and stuff like that, where you got to get 3 people across a long distance together. I'd rather do that than run on a 6-person relay team. I don't know. There's speed. I'm also very bad at heat, which we've seen. So, like, I don't know, speed project, not in my wheelhouse of things to do, you know? Jen Runs Triangle says, "Unpopular opinion, but I really dislike April Fools and April Fools jokes. This is entirely a statement about my gullibility and not about how funny some of the April Fools jokes out there are." Yeah, there was a stretch where it was every like April Fool's joke was that someone was pregnant, and I just don't think that's funny to mess around with, that kind of thing. And then like there was a time where I was like, I really want brands to get in on this. I think this is super fun, missed opportunity, you know. And then the brands got involved and did stuff, and I was like, nope, never mind. I didn't like that. So. Eric says that really long race at UTMB Tour de Sable. I think that's what it is, right? It's not a marked course. It's more like there's no course, but there is like a route, right? I like that. Andrew Cho says, maybe you'll try Barkley. I would never try Barkley. I get lost in an amusement park, number one. I don't really want to, and I also just don't want to do any events put on by that guy. Let's see. Mark Peterson says, "For disappointed New York City hopefuls, do what I did last year. Race CIM this year, but 4 weeks prior, do the New York City virtual while already doing your long run, and you walk the last X number of miles. And then you can run New York the next year." Oh, that's a good. If you do a New York virtual, you automatically get a bib for the next year. Is that how it works? Oh yeah. Mark says it costs a bit of money for that option, but worth it for the guaranteed entry. That is a good way to do it. That's sneaky, Mark. I like that. Eric says, I did enjoy this serious trail runner video, almost too close to the bones. He has a way of definitely cutting too close sometimes. He means it in fun, and that's what I think makes it funny. But like, where there's times where it hits close. And I've commented that before too. And then he'll message me, I'm like, I'm so sorry. Did I offend you? I'm like, no, you did. But it rings so true. He sees the truth in things a lot of times, and he can poke fun at it. That's always makes it good. So yeah, Serious Runner did have a good April Fool's Day video. Let's see. Let's see. Alan Lou says, there's a virtual option for New York. I didn't see anything about that the last time I checked. I've seen the virtual option. I've always been like, why would you pay money to do a virtual option? But if that means it counts towards a guaranteed energy for the next year, that's pretty amazing. Let's see. And Calvin says the virtual spots should open in June. And it looks like it sells out pretty quick. So if you want to do that, you gotta get on it real fast. Let's see. D0 Aperture says, woo, got back from the gym from leg day. Made it just in time. Well, good to see you. And Pegasus says, I missed the Salomon. It's coming up. We'll get there. We haven't gotten there yet. Anthony says, are you still racing Tiger Claw? I mean, racing's putting it generously, but I'll be competing. I'll have a bib. So I am doing Tiger Claw. That reminds me, I got to book a hotel and a flight. So I got to do that. But yeah, I'll be out there in Seattle-ish area. So is anyone else going to run that? You know what's hard about it is that like I was reading through the website the other day, and it's like, you got to limit your amount of supporters and crew and stuff like that because of the lack of access at the trail. And I'm like, that kind of sucks. But it's different. It's a trail race. Yeah, Kevin says, I'd run Tiger Club, but my marathon is a week later. Yeah, that's not good timing, is it? Andrew Scott says, I got a pair of Nimbus 25s for a recovery shoe, but I'm getting some FOMO on the On Eclipse. I didn't like the On Monster. Is the FOMO real over the Nimbus? They're very different shoes. So like, it's not like one is good at something and the other one's really good at it. It's like they're doing very different things. And if you really didn't like the On Cloud Monster, you might not love the On Cloud Eclipse, although I feel like they're very different shoes. The On Cloud Monster 2, I could take it or leave it. The On Cloud Eclipse, I really enjoy that one. It's a lot of fun. I'd say it's closer to a Super Blast than it's to a Nimbus, if that makes sense. Eliza says, was the On shoe from Friday recorded on the spreadsheet? It has not been, but I did weigh it. I wrote it down. It's time to get the spreadsheet. We need a sound. Let's do the sound. That's not the right sound, but you know what? We'll use that as a sound for now. It's time to get the spreadsheet ready. Here we go. All right. So last Friday, we unboxed a new shoe, the On Cloud Monster Hyper. So let's do that. On Cloud Monster Hyper. I did weigh it, although here's where things get messy. Because remember, guys, they sent me a size 10, US men's size 10. And all these other weights are US men's size 9. And I've decided I'm not going to run in the size 10. I emailed On this morning to see if they could send me a different one. But I did weigh this, and as long as we got the spreadsheet out, I'll tell you what it weighed. It weighed 9.4 ounces or 268 grams, 0 miles, It was the right shoe, but it was a size 10. So now I guess we got to make a new shoe column, which I didn't really want to do, but here we go. You know, there. So now, oh wait, no, shoot, I messed this up. Let's make some space here. All right, 9.4, that goes right before, it's light. The On Cloud Monster Hyper size 10 is lighter than the Puma Velocity Nitro 3 by 2 grams. That's wild. That's wild. Mark Peterson wants to, do we care about having a column for date? I don't know. That seems like a lot of work. DC Aperture says, let's go. It's spreadsheet time. Yeah, Calvin says, this is giving me trauma of how Co is sorting the rows. I'm manually sorting the rows. I know you guys want to do like the auto sort, but I'm just the motivation for this was put a celebrity in a reasonably priced car, and they had like little magnets on a magnetic board, and they would slide things up and down and wedge in the time. So that's where the motivation comes from. So that's why I'm always going to insert a row and then copy the data into that row. That's why it's going to be like that. I know we could sort the data. Not that interested at this time. Maybe later. Maybe once we get a lot more in there. But here we go. This is what it looks like. Eric says there's a bunch of Excel purists around here. There sure are. But you know what? I feel like if you want an audience that gets excited about you busting out a spreadsheet, you cannot be surprised if they're mad about how you use a spreadsheet. You know? Yeah. So that's how it goes. All right. Thanks everybody for humoring with me on that. And you know what? Once the okay, we should leave this open because we're gonna go look at another shoot. But once the new Cloud Monster Hyper comes in, we'll add that one too. Pegasus says, "Are you a car guy at all, Co?" Kind of. I like looking at cars. I love Top Gear, the British one. The American one is okay, but everyone prefers the British one. Was it Fifth Gear? Fifth Gear I didn't like as much. It seemed very fancy. You know, I didn't like that one. But I like that. I used to really watch a lot of F1 racing. I used to watch a lot of MotoGP as well. But I enjoy motorsport. Driving, I'm not that great at driving, and I generally find driving to be a chore. But I feel like driving on a nice windy road with a fun car, that's really nice. But I don't get to do that a lot. All right. Someone wanted to know. Steve Dorwell says, "Are you going to Boston this year?" I am going to Boston this year. My schedule is still getting sorted out a little bit. There was a change already on Friday, and so new stuff's getting added though. So I think there's going to be a live stream live, as well as a run and a meetup, like a meet and greet, like we did that in Chicago. So there's a couple of different ways that we can hang out. And then I'll be around all weekend long too. I'll be going to the expo, even though I'm not racing, because some fun stuff is going to be happening at the expo. And then I'll be attending other people's events too. I just got invited to Tina Muir's plogging event. Check that out if you follow Tina Muir, so we can do a little bit of cleanup, So we'll be doing a lot of stuff. So I'll be around for sure. I'll be cheering on all you guys. Robert Henson says, "Any news on a possible Humo DV8 Nitro 3? Absolutely love the 2. I love the 2 as well. I know that there is a 3. I don't think I've seen it. I don't know. I think we're getting it this year. We should be getting it this year because December will have been 2 years since it came out. So we should be getting it. Covering all of says, "Co, have you ever driven an exciting car like a Lambo or a Ferrari?" I'm trying to think. I don't think so. I don't think I have. Yeah, the fastest thing I've ever driven is a motorcycle, like motorcycles. That's about it. TGI Brady says, "You should do a shoe review in the style of Doug DeMuro. That would be pretty fun." I don't know who that is. I know the name's familiar, but I'm not sure who it is. Sega Dreamcast says, "Yo, what's going on? My Not Elite hat literally just arrived. Can't wait to rock it at Cherry Blossom this weekend." I feel like there's going to be a couple of people racing with it there, so I'm pretty excited to see you guys. Make sure you take some pictures. I'd love to see it. All right, Zuhairkhan Speed Cuber says, "Would you recommend buying shoes even if you can't return them? I live in Bangladesh, so if I get shoes delivered from my sister in Malaysia, it's a big hassle to return. Planning on getting the Noblesse 4. I think that's where it helps. I would say, if that's the only way you can get shoes, then that's the only way you can get shoes. The thing that I would recommend is find some shoes that you loved and see which reviewers loved them. Better if you have a couple of different shoes that you've loved that same reviewer has loved them, right? So that gives you a sense of like, oh yeah, someone else that likes the same shoes that I like this. That gives me a higher probability that I'll like it. And there's never any guarantees for sure, but that's a way to kind of get a sense for it. And if that doesn't work for you, then it might be a situation where you unfortunately have to do something where you get to try on the shoe first. But in the absence of that, I'd recommend find someone that tends to like the same things that you tend to like. Calvin says, "I've seen the 3. LOL. There was a leak of all Puma's 2024 releases." Yeah, that kind of stuff's annoying. I think I've eventually, like, I was just thinking about it today for no reason at all today. I was thinking about what happened to that Andrew Tate guy. I used to see like stuff of his all the time, and now I don't see any of it anymore. I've had to maybe it's because I've just been effective at blocking it, or is he just not around anymore, or did I get really good at training my algorithm? I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't know, but I think I've also trained my algorithm not to show me shoe leaks because I don't care about it. So I usually don't see leaks. All right. Eliza says, box of salmon. All right, we'll get to the box. So this box is from Salomon today. Making sure I got my scale ready. It is the Courtney Dahlwalter toothbrush. Just kidding. It's not. I wish it were. Wouldn't that be awesome? If there are those toothbrushes laying around, can I have one, please? Anyway, what I have from from Salomon is the Index 03. This is the 3rd iteration of their 100% recyclable shoe. The idea with this shoe is that it is made out of recyclable materials, and once you are done with it, you send it back to them, and they take apart they take apart the entire thing. They recycle what can be recycled. They reuse what can be reused, and the recycled material gets reused and turned into Salomon alpine ski boots. So this is the 3rd iteration of that shoe. You know what? I've been on the email list since the Index 001 was announced. I've never gotten a follow-up email, but I do have this one finally. They sent it to me, and it looks very different than what I was expecting. This is the Salomon Index 03. I'm really hoping that this is not under embargo, but I don't think it is. I thought I just saw it somewhere else. But here you could see there's a thing called splitting area. This is one of the seams where they will take it apart. And there is a QR code at the top of it. I will block it with my hand, so I don't know, I just feel like I should. But I'll block that QR code because that registers your shoe, or it sends you to a place where you can register your shoe. And so that way when you're done with it, you can mail it back to Salomon. So pretty cool. Look at this outsole. It's like a crystal rubber, or it looks like a crystal rubber. And yeah, look at that. Index 03. It says R camber, TPU, and nitrogen. Interesting. TPU and nitrogen. So the first couple iterations of the shoe, from what I understood, like people loved the concept, but performance-wise, it had a lot left to be desired. Version 2 tried to improve on that by it got 20% lighter. I'm not sure where we stand weight-wise with version 3, but you know what? There's one way to find out. Let's get the scales. Let's get the scales. All right. Here we go. Everyone that doesn't like how I add the new shoes to the lineup, close your eyes. You know when you can look again. Right now you can open them because I'm just weighing the shoe. Okay, there's no spreadsheet out, don't worry. I feel like I can't believe I got to do a trigger warning for how I use a spreadsheet on this channel. That's where we're at. That's okay. It's okay. We'll accommodate everybody. All right. Oh, this is the left shoe. We need the right shoe. This is the right shoe. Oh, it's got an ortholite liner inside. That's nice. All right, right shoe. Index 003 or .03. 9.1 ounces, 258 grams. Ooh, Brian E says the website says 249. Mine comes in at 258. So we're going to go with that. All right, spreadsheet time. Close your eyes. All right, and we got the Salomon Index .03. 9.1 ounces. Hold on. Let's make sure. Yep, 9.1 ounces. I keep finding the OZ in there. 258 grams. 0 miles, right shoe, size 9. Okay, where does that go? Where does that go? It goes right above the Oncon Monster Hyper. Here we are. Bring it up there. Wait a minute. What just happened there? All right. We'll get this moved up. There it is. Now here's our new. See, the list is growing. This is growing. This is growing. All right, guys. Summit. Okay, sorry. I'm back. I messed it up. Now you guys can open your eyes. We're back. But, you guys with me now? Are you guys back? It does still say that this is Conta Grip. Even though this is like round lugs on the bottom here. It still has that Conta Grip logo. All right. Dino DG says the spreadsheet gods were not appeased. I accidentally did a 3-finger swipe. Or I thought I was doing a 3-finger swipe to switch screens. I did a 2-finger swipe and I hit the back button. And that's what happened. So, yeah. But maybe it's a sign. It's a sign. It's a sign from the gods. And then the next week, yeah, there's a total eclipse of the co. CJ, the stream was so upset about the spreadsheet, it dipped out. And Giant Dungeon says, screen blacks out, and Jeremy Clarkson appears. Oh, you guys are funny. As far as breathability goes, look, there's like a honeycomb pattern going on through the upper materials here. So that's kind of cool. But it just seems to be a very thick material. Like the first one, and to an extent the second one, the upper looked almost like it was made out of like that kind of like, I don't know if it's I think it's Tyvek. That stuff that like parachutes are and like billboards are made out of, that stuff. It kind of looked like it was that plasticky. This is more like a regular fabric. Much more breathable than it looks though. Very breathable. But not racing shoe breathable. But I love the look of it. Super clean. I'm definitely going to be wearing this shoe around a lot. I think it's going to be really comfortable for wearing. But we'll see how this TPU and nitrogen midsole foam works on the run too. So we'll take it out there. All right. Gender Triangle says, okay, the rip away area gives me anxiety. Did anyone see Hillary Bohr's shoe at the end of the cross country world? Yeah. I think Sidious Mag had the photo of it, of his foot like sticking out of the shoe. And it's Hillary. Was it Emmanuel Bohr? Emmanuel Bohr, right? It was Emmanuel Bohr. He's a Nike athlete, is that right? It was Emmanuel Bohr, wasn't it? Anyway, I just feel like, yeah, he really wrecked his shoe. I don't know how he did that. I'm guessing it was through the mud. Like the mud is holding onto the shoe and he's pulling his foot out of it, but still, like that's not supposed to happen to a shoe. I wonder if he had some sort of prototype. I don't think anyone's going to do any muddy cross-country racing in this, so I think it's going to be fine. I'm not too worried about this tearaway area. I think it's going to be fine. I actually I like the look of it. I think it looks cool. It's just, this foam feels really dense though, I got to tell you. I'm not normally a squeeze the Charmin kind of guy, but this feels really dense. I wish they would have done something to it in terms of like cutouts and shaving away pieces to make it deform a little bit better. I don't know. We'll see. Some of you guys are talking about the eclipse. We're not in the path of totality here in northern Illinois, but I think we're going to get to see some of it. My wife was telling me, we were having dinner yesterday at the table, and we're telling the kids about the eclipse tomorrow. And my younger daughter was like, "What's an eclipse?" And so I was trying to explain to her what an eclipse is. And I'm like, "Well, here's the sun, here's the moon, and they rotate around." And I was like, I had my fingers all in the air. And I'm not sure if she understood or not, but she understood that it'd be kind of cool. There'd be like a ring of fire, if it was full totality, which we're not, but you would see like, the moon blocking the sun. And this girl who had only found out what an eclipse was about a minute prior to that was then told that like at her school, the principal sent an email, like third grade and under would watch it inside on TV. Over third grade, they would get to go outside if they had special sunglasses, which I bought a whole bunch of them for my kids. And my younger daughter was just like, "Oh man, I don't get to see that. I've always wanted to see one." I'm like, "You didn't know what it was a minute ago." I don't know, but that's how kids are, I guess. But I think it's supposed to rain on the 8th for us out here. So we'll see. I mean, hopefully the weather will change. And Richard Wilson says, getting to see some of it is nothing like seeing totality. Yeah, I think that would be pretty wild to see it. I think it'd probably be a 5-6 hour drive for me to get to totality from here. I think it'd be far. I mean, I guess like if I knew the weather was going to be good, I'd be, tempted to make the drive, but I don't know. And Martha says it's absolutely correct that anything short of totality isn't even close. I remember the last time that the eclipse came through, that was the time when like Donald Trump like looked directly at, it was like staring at the sun directly, right? For us in Illinois, it was just like, I think it got red for a little while. We didn't even see any kind of occlusion. It was just like the sun turned orange for a little bit. Andrew says it's 4 hours max to Indy. Every time I think we might be a little bit further than 4 hours. Is Indianapolis in the path of totality? Every time I drive to Indianapolis, there's always a massive crash on that interstate, and you have to take this giant detour because there's not much out there. And I've never had a smooth trip to Indianapolis. Matt Byer says, Central Ohio is in the path of totality. My daughter's school is closed due to the eclipse and the amount of expected traffic. Ooh, interesting. Louis says, the last one in October, Tijuana had 68%, and that's better than nothing. Well, that's pretty cool. How often do eclipses happen? I mean, I know that's not like a every 6 months kind of thing, but I feel like I only heard about an eclipse happening like once in my lifetime, like growing up as a kid, and now there's a couple. I don't know. Andrew Scott says 65 South is always a mess. That's where it always I think it's because there's always lake effect snow, you know. Now, I'm not expecting lake effect snow on April 8th, although it's not impossible. But that's what it's usually lake effect snow that causes some sort of issue. Calvin says the eclipse percentage is lower than my ultrasinum score. Let's see. All right. A lot of you guys making Ring of Fire song quotes, which makes sense. I love it. All right. Cobalt Blue says, Niagara Falls is expecting 1 million visitors for the eclipse. A few other places expecting large numbers of visitors declared a state of emergency. I was watching something that was saying, like, maybe it was when I was in Iowa. They're saying that some towns were, it was in Iowa, but they were reporting, because Iowa's not in the path of totality. But anyway, they were saying that like some towns that figured it out were like, they've been preparing for like 2 years for this event. I'm like, oh, that's a lot of prep. They bought like 100,000 eclipse sunglasses to give away for people to come that visit the town. And I was like, wow, hopefully it doesn't be cloudy that day, you know. Yeah, Calvin Holland's like, all that, and it could just be cloudy that day. That'd be so disappointing, you know? I mean, what do? You can't do anything. Stevie76 says it's time to sacrifice your old running shoes during the eclipse. That's how it works. Oh, man. And where'd it go? Someone had something funny to say about it. About how, like, the paths didn't change that much since I was a kid. Brian Albrecht says, I'm all for old jokes, but I thought the path of the moon was different when you were a kid. I know, but I just don't know if we didn't hear about it or I didn't pay attention to it. I only remember like people discussing the eclipse like once when I was like my youngest daughter's age. And then after that, I don't know. Maybe I just didn't care. Probably I just didn't care, but I don't remember it being like a thing. And like, I don't remember like schools closing or like people going crazy to buy eclipse sunglasses or anything. I don't know. One thing I do feel like is really funny is anytime the news has been showing footage of people watching the eclipse, it's like a bunch of people like looking at the eclipse on their on their phone with the eclipse sunglasses over the camera lens. And I'm just like, okay. Well, I mean, I guess it makes sense. I mean, it's just basically a big darkening filter to put on the lens. And I do think that I have an ND filter that I'm going to try to put on my camera. So I am going to try and like set the camera outside on a tripod and see if I can see what I can see. But I gotta double check to make sure I have the ND filter. I was going to buy one. I was on Amazon looking for it. And then Amazon told me I already had bought this one. I was like, oh, I don't remember buying this, but okay. Interesting. Vanessa says it's supposed to rain in Austin on Monday, so no idea what we'll be able to see. Yeah, I don't know. Cosmic Pineapple Michael says, no one looks forward to the traffic jam after the eclipse as everyone attempts to leave the viewing spot at the same time. Yeah, I bet that's going to suck. But it'll be worth it, you know? Molly says, we had a whole news story on our local channel about how to prepare your dogs for the eclipse. Basically telling people that their dogs won't go blind, probably. Preparing your dogs for the... What do they need to prepare them for? Like, will dogs look at the sun? Like, imagine, what do you think goes through a dog's mind? I don't know. Like, does a dog even care? Frank says... All right, so here, so Frank's backing me up here. The last time a total eclipse occurred over New Jersey was 1925. So it never happened in my lifetime. So there we go. Yeah. Maybe that's why I never heard about it. Shaheen Farania says, speaking of cameras, do you edit your videos yourself? It's very impressive. I do. I was just thinking on my run today that maybe it's time to have someone else edit them for me. But I enjoy the edit. But I know I'm going to be gone for a long time in April. And I'm going to be gone a lot in May. And I'm just like, I might need some help because I'm going to be going on all these trips. And I want to be able to enjoy trips and not be like, sorry, I can't hang out because I have to edit this video from last weekend's activities. You know, so I'm nervous about that a lot. And so I thought, well, maybe I can start training an editor to help me with some like shoes. So that way when I am gone, I can make a whole bunch of videos and then send them to an editor to get edited so that they release while I'm traveling so that there isn't a gap. I don't know. I've been thinking about it, but I don't know. It seems like a lot of work. CV76 says, should we have a live stream during the eclipse? It's supposed to be during like, I was thinking that we might do a live stream from the backyard because the eclipse is supposed to happen during live stream time. Yeah. So, there's a running shoe joke in there somewhere, but, yeah. So I think we might have to do one from the backyard. Aaron Ross says, what do you think about taking salt tabs during a marathon? Lots of people do it. I'm worried that the salt tab is going to prematurely disintegrate in my pants. And so that's why I'm nervous about taking them. I've basically been salt loading the night before, and that's been fine for me. And by salt loading, I mean just like eating kind of salty food, but like basically drinking like a scratch hyperhydration or any other beverage that has like 1,000 milligrams of salt before I go to bed. Martha says, animals get weirded out by the dark and are only affected by total eclipses. Interesting. Can you imagine, like, all of a sudden you're just living your life. There's a total eclipse. You get to see a perfect ring of fire. And then all of a sudden your dog just starts acting weird. I don't know. I feel like I would rename Eclipse to like Dog Breaker if I did that. Yeah. Brian Albrecht says, can there be a middle ground? Surely there's one part of editing you don't like. So yeah, there is. I don't like editing these live streams. So like, I've already farmed that out. Daniel makes the clips from the live stream that I post on the Cozy Run Club Instagram channel. So there's that. I've been having him do that. I've been debating whether or not to have him do more stuff, you know? So, it's just like, for me, by the time I've already like done all the film work, the B-roll, the talking head, that's more time than the editing's not that long. And so like, but then again, it's like every last bit of time helps. I think I need to, I don't know. there is a middle ground. I need to find more middle ground. I think that like it's tempting to be like, because I think a lot of other YouTubers go like, oh, I stopped editing videos once I got to so many subscribers because then I was like spending more time creating new content and all this stuff. And I think for me, there's more like effective ways to be efficient with my time, I think. Because I'm not usually traveling as frequently as I am right now. Maybe that'll become more common, and in that situation, timeliness may be the factor. But like, for me, like, I think I need like an account. I need more help in the accounting and the business sides of things. So there's that. I mean, I have a manager now, and they help with a lot of stuff in terms of interacting with brands. So they help me a lot with that too. So I'm trying to figure out other ways that are less disruptive to my workflow. So, Vanessa says, does Daniel do the reels? He does when you see me unboxing stuff, that's Daniel. But the other reels, those are the ones that I do. Robert Hudson says, I thought Philly Bowden's boyfriend Daniel was editing for you before. He edits this live stream. So that's what he does. Oh, Mark Peterson says, hopefully the eclipse is not on the first Wednesday of the month also for those of us in the Midwest. Yeah, can you imagine? Can you imagine if there's like a total eclipse out here and all of a sudden all the tornado warnings start going off? Oh boy, people would freak out. People would freak out. Oh man. Matthias Ventus says, did Brandon from Believe in the Run go get hired by Fleet Feet, or is that a side gig? So my understanding is that, and then I don't think I'm telling anything sensitive. I don't think like I'm telling Brandon's information. Plus, and we'll end on this one today because I have some good news about Brandon too, for all you Brandon fans. So Brandon met a nice young lady, and she is a traveling nurse, I think. And so he wanted to be with her when she had to travel. And so he left Baltimore. And so that's why he's not with Believe in the Run anymore, because Believe in the Run needed someone on site. And so I think he's been trying to find a way to, fill his days and also make some money while his partner is out working, doing her travel nurse thing. And I don't know for sure, but it looks like Brandon is doing some content for Fleet Feet or in collaboration with Fleet Feet. So that's good. And he was just at the Stanford Invitational meet too, doing a photographer thing. And so it looked like he had some media credentials and took some really good photos. I don't know if he made any video from the event or if there was any restrictions as far as his media credentials go, and he could only take photos, but I know he just put out a nice carousel of photos on Instagram from the Stanford Invitational. So go and check that out. But, because he's a free agent now and I have some events going on in Boston, I've asked Brandon to come and help film 3 different events that I'm doing while I'm in Boston. Because a lot of times when I'm at these events, I want to talk to you guys and make sure I'm getting selfies and not trying to film the whole thing. And then I end up being light on content for those events. And so I wanted to make sure that someone could get like a sense of what the event was like, how many people were there, without me having to like directly like hold my GoPro out while you guys are want to get selfies and just wanted to chat. And so Brandon will be at some of these events too, helping me out. So there'll be an event Saturday at 4, which you guys in the live stream will be very interested in. And then Sunday at 9 a.m. and then Sunday at 5 p.m. So those are 3 events for sure. There'll be other stuff too that I can let you know more about. I'll be going to the expo on Saturday, I think. You guys might want to come with me. So there's stuff. But yeah, so Brandon will be there. So come to the event. Say hi to Brandon. Don't say hi to him too much though, because I need him to do filming and stuff too. But you can always say hi to him. All right, that's going to be a good place to end it for today, guys. Rebel 4 After 100 Miles review is up. I'll go and fix the typo in there now. And tomorrow there will not be a video, but we'll play a game because tomorrow's Trivia Tuesday. So I'll start thinking about what we're going to play tomorrow. But that should be fun. So same time as today, 1 p.m. Central Time. Hopefully I'll see you then. In the meantime, be safe out there, everybody. Thanks. Bye.